Good evening, good people. This is your host, Calvin Anderson. We're on episode 10 today. I have another special guest in the psychology field this time. My guest today is a trainee in psychology, but she has so much insight and so much depth to share with us today. Placidia, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Tired, but good.
That's good then.
So, Placidia, if you can for the listeners, can you introduce yourself and what you're currently studying? And what are your aspirations once you finish?
All right, so my name is Placidia, and I am from Hong Kong. I have different experiences in across Europe, and I studied in the UK for a while. And now I'm currently having my exchange program in Norway, in Oslo City. And I study psychology. And for my future aspirations, I think I would like to explore the industrial psychology field and also the business field. So, because I am currently in my second year of my bachelor's degree, so I still needed some time to think further.
Hmm.
But otherwise, I'm also open to entrepreneurship. So, starting my own company in one day as soon as I gained all the experiences.
Amazing. Um, Tell us more about, and this is before we ask the second question, is you mentioned the industrial side of psychology and the business side. Can you open and navigate us through that a bit more?
So industrial psychology is more like assessing people
Hmm.
on the work field, and business can include human resources, management. There are many things you can focus on, but it all depends on what you really want to pursue in the future. And my guess is if I were to go into these kind of fields, I
Hmm.
want to explore all of them, and
Yeah.
I want to find out which one suits me better in the future.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you said you want to start your own company. What does that look like? Do you have a name already in your head, or you still trying to?
Well, it was a bit too early for now, but I do have it's kind of my life purpose in a way,
Yeah.
because I really want to provide education, accessible education, intellectual pursuits to different people, even when they're in a lower class, so they couldn't afford it. Then for me, if I could have the ability to provide them that, I
Yeah.
would have my own company and to help these kind of people. This is the target audience that I am aiming for in the future.
And I wish you much success with that, Placidia.
Thank you.
I know it's going to be really great. So I look forward to seeing the
Thank you.
full fruition of that dream. Why psychology? Like, why did you decide to go down that avenue, down that pathway? What was it that, or what is it about psychology that resonated with you so much? And yeah, can you take us down that path?
Yeah, so I chose psychology in my own interest. So
Yeah.
I picked my bachelor's degree within my interest. And first things, I am really interested in personalities. So
Okay.
how different personalities could be shaped by different environment, and
Mm.
also the aspect of nature and nurture. And I'm more focused on the nurture part. So how does an upbringing cause
Mm.
an individual to behave or like adopt a mindset in a different way?
Yeah.
So, and everyone's different. So it's really fascinating to see.
Hmm.
And for me personally, I learned psychology apart from that. I also learned it for myself. So
Okay.
self-improvements, learning what happened to me, like how am I the person I am today?
Mm.
It's quite interesting. But I also dived deep into shadow work. I'm not sure, have you heard of it?
No,
Well,
tell me more.
yes, so shadow work is basically addressing parts of your growth during your life journey. There's
Mm.
happy memories, they're never happy. Well, not all of them are happy. And we are here to explore these parts within the shadow work questions. It's like kind of going into therapy, but without a therapist. But for
Yeah.
me, I did consult with a therapist before starting shadow work,
Yeah.
because it could be quite dangerous if you don't monitor yourself and use like breathing techniques to calm yourself down.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
I love how you said you had a consultation with a therapist beforehand to have that protection and to have, the safety guidelines before going into the shadow work. I won't ask you what questions you have to ask yourself within the shadow work, only because, again, it's the safety aspect.
Yeah.
But if someone heard this and said, I would love to get into shadow work, what
Mhm.
would be your best advice with someone or one of the listeners who want to begin that process, Placidia?
Yeah, so if a person wants to start, I think the best thing they could do, I'm not a professional,
Of course.
but based on what I know, it's best to learn how to diagnose and identify which part of your body is tense,
Mm,
because stress, anxiety, manifest in your body.
yeah,
Trauma manifests in your body as well. So before doing shadow work, it is really important to build up that safety network behind you.
yeah,
So in case when a question gets really overwhelming,
hmm,
or it really triggers you to think back of your childhood experiences or any bad experiences at all,
yeah,
then you can use these breathing protection techniques to
hmm,
save yourself and to distance away from that source for a
yeah.
while. The best part, the most important part ever.
The most important part ever. No, thank you
Yeah.
for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. You said something also key that I want to touch back on was within the psychology field, the one part that stood out to you was nurture. If you don't mind, please expand on that more. And if you can, could you give us your environment and the nurture you was given to become the person who is speaking with us today?
Yeah, so nature and nurture is the first thing that we were taught in the first semester within our bachelor's degree.
Yeah,
And it tells about how the environment uh, could shape humans
mhm,
into the person they are today, which their um, behaviors or their thinking patterns could adopt what happens
yeah,
in the past and how they were raised. I forgot the psychologist, oh my God. But okay. I remember a psychologist said, so give me a bunch of children and I would raise them with different parents or like different professions. And in the end, they will come out very differently because of the quality of how they were raised.
yeah,
Yeah. And for me, my upbringings is that my parents are very interested in making me into a very independent woman, a girl
yeah,
I am today.
yeah,
So I think since I was really young, my parents would send me to leadership courses, sport classes, public speaking talks, and also seminars to learn about and to equip the right confidence and
mhm,
also the skill set for my future career. And also, it really helps with my personality
yeah,
because the way I think now is quite different, even though I would have similar thoughts as a child, but
yeah,
growing up, parents in different life stages, they tell me different things and I experience different things, and I would eventually unlock new um, ways of seeing things. And
mm,
so at the end, I just really am grateful for my parents first.
of
A
course.
little thanks for them, a huge thanks for them.
Yeah,
Without them, I wouldn't be nurtured into a person who likes reading, who likes
mm,
philosophy, who likes psychology. Because
yeah,
my mother really likes psychology, so
yeah,
she would tell me things as a kid, but in a very simple way.
mm,
But grow up now, I start studying it myself.
yeah.
Yes, it's been a great help.
Amazing. Shout out to mum and dad. Um,
Yep.
that is, I love that. I love the intention that they put
Yeah.
into you and what you've taken from the lessons they've taught you and now adapted it and molded it to your own journey of
Yeah.
autonomy. So no, that is powerful. So thank you for sharing that with me.
Thank you.
Um, and this goes nicely into our next question, where I want to ask you, how has the journey been for you so far?
Mhm. So my journey has been fulfilling so far. I
Yeah,
learned things about myself. So basically within the self-discovery thing.
Mm.
I also get to explore my mindset, so my thinking patterns. I get to reflect every day. I
Yeah.
like to reflect every day about how I was thinking, what I do,
Mm.
how was I like with other people? Are there any places that I could improve for the day in order to become a better person?
Yeah.
So yeah, this part, it is really great. And also, I think psychology built up my confidence a lot,
Mm.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
In yeah, because in my lectures, I would learn more about social psychology.
Hmm.
I think half a year ago,
Yeah.
and one theory that stuck to me the most is if you want to highlight and raise your self-esteem, you
Yeah.
shouldn't be uh, putting all of your effort into one aspect of life. So let's say
Mm.
you've got your academics, you've got sports, you've got music, you've got art,
Yeah.
or and you shouldn't be putting one of your concentration and all that thing that defines you into like only solely for one aspect. So like just academics.
Yeah.
And in Hong Kong, it's very common. I think many people have already subconsciously based off their self-esteem with their grades
Yeah.
because it's highly competitive. And if you fail, it's for life. That's what they think.
Mm.
So this is very important for everyone, I think,
Yeah.
not only just me, but everyone around me should be able to be aware of this. And since we've been taught in classes, that's easier to learn because we have professors telling us that, and it's easier to comprehend.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I think this part is very important. It's kind of like your self-regulation abilities and how you think and how you choose to see things after negative things happen.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think finally, I think it's also great for me because it helps me to I understand why people behave in a certain way. So
Mm.
let's say if I were to be in a conflict with someone,
Yeah.
uh, based on true experiences,
Hmm.
I was in an internship with I think a few people, and some of them did not seem to cooperate a lot, and you can tell they aren't really that engaged.
Hmm.
So when I asked them things and yeah, the project about the projects, and they would give you the worst attitude ever.
Yeah.
So if I were to not know how to deal with this correctly, I would have hid in a hole and start crying because like, oh, why would you do this to me and everything.
Mm.
But one thing that comes within the psychology journey
Hmm.
is that I understood these people they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They just have experienced something that have led them to behave like this. Maybe what I did has become a trigger for them. So
Mm.
it kind of opens up wounds in their mentality and also their life. I don't
Yeah.
blame them because they never asked. It's out of control. They
Hmm.
cannot control it. And if they're not aware of it, then it's really hard to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one thing that's helped a lot.
I won't even take you further or ask you to expand on that even more because you mentioned about having self-regulation.
Yeah,
Is there any, maybe you can explain self-regulation to listeners, but also, is there any advice or any tips or any, guidance you would give to anyone who would like to self-regulate or doesn't know how to? What would you say?
I would say, well, in a very simple way or in a very
Give
uh,
us, give us, give us all the thought process you have
okay.
on that. Yeah.
I think I would say approach everything without expecting the good
Mm.
or bad. Because once you've expected, you start to fantasize about what could possibly happen,
Yeah.
and that will eventually cause you to think more, become more anxious, or it really hinders your work performance. So in a way, I wouldn't recommend that. And next time you find yourselves um, overthinking or trying to fantasize different outcomes coming out, then
Yeah.
it's stop. Just be aware enough to stop. I think the second one is more about the social relationships.
Yeah.
I think humans have been social creatures, and
Mm.
which is proven true, and we need socialization. But sometimes we need to know where does the boundary stand because sometimes you would be affected by what other people did to you. example, maybe they're not being nice to you, or you've witnessed something draining that happens, like all the dramas and everything that happened. It could be really bad for your mental health. So in this point, if you are dragged within that circle or that community,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be very stressed. And I would say if anyone is, troubled by this, like, oh, what should I do next? I would just say be yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because the way you regulate yourself is to think.
Yeah.
Uh, no matter what you would do in the future,
Yeah.
people would have like different ways of seeing you, no matter what choices you make within the community, how you address the situation, how you deal with these individuals. You only have one life to live, and these people, they're just part of your life that happens around you, but
Mm-hmm.
you only have to control within your life. So this is really important,
Very
you know.
important. Very
Yeah,
important. No, thank you for sharing that with us, Placidia. That's
yeah,
so impactful and so important to, as you mentioned, you know, being
yeah,
being intentional with what you expect,
yeah.
and knowing what you can control and what is out of your control. So no, thank you so much for that. Speak to me, speak to me about living a, and this is a conversation we've had. Speak to me about living a stoic lifestyle and what does that entail?
So living a stoic life has been a lot, it has arisen, like lots of misconceptions has arisen within being stoic. So the definition of being stoic in people who are not aware of the real meaning behind it
Yeah.
is that they would say, oh, ignore your emotions, neglect your emotions. They're
Hmm.
not important. Leave them alone. You know,
Yeah.
you can function without them and everything. This is like stoic. Do not react. Do not react. Do not show your happiness. Do not smile. Do not cry. Do not be angry. Yeah, that's what the common controversial things would say, the misunderstandings would say.
Hmm.
But what makes a true stoic lifestyle is to live with the four virtues in a way.
Yeah.
So it all comes from the stoic philosophy, and they preach the four virtues a lot. So one is temperance, which
Yeah.
is self-control, how well you can control yourself under situations that make you angry, make you sad, make you want to lash out. If you're impulsive, then yeah, it's like combating your impulsivity under
Yeah.
different situations. Yes. And the second one is justice, and
Hmm.
which is social responsibility and also purpose. It basically tells you to be kind to everyone, but also to live out what you want the best for the society. So not just yourself, but you would also find fulfillment and a lot of joy in helping other people.
Yeah.
And the third virtue is courage.
Hmm.
And that's very simple, the courage to overcome your fears,
Yeah.
the courage to step out of your comfort zone and do things you never imagined you would done. The fourth one is wisdom, which is the knowledge of, reflective thinking, how well you learn things, how curious are you to learn about the society around you, the world, or if you're religious or if you're spiritual, learn about the higher being, the mysterious universe.
Mm.
Then that's also a way.
Yeah.
The second point of living a stoic life is more of knowing what you can control and what you cannot control.
Mm.
And once you identified what is within your control, for example, how you see yourself, how what you can do next to counteract a situation or scenario,
Yeah.
or how to deal with negative emotions, or how you choose to respond to other people
Yeah.
in certain situations, then this is already like a brief example of what you think you can control,
Hmm.
what you identified as you can control, and beyond your control. So beyond your control could be, but how others see you,
Hmm.
the uncertainty, so future, uh, what your future workplace will be like, how your future progress will be like, how your goals would change in the future. These are things you cannot control, but if you think, yeah, if you think deeper, then it's quite meaningful in a way.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, that's very powerful. That
Yeah.
is very powerful.
Thanks.
Um, Stoic lifestyle.
All right.
Because I think, or what I can see is you've given me a base now of a Stoic lifestyle. I think my question to you is, before we move on, is
Mm-hmm.
what are you going to do to build upon that as you grow in your field, as you grow as a woman, um, and your social settings and everything? What does that look like for you moving forward?
Moving forward, you mean with control, basically, or anything that was taught within Stoicism, you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Okay. I think one of the most important things in my future is I age eventually. That's also
mhm,
one thing that Greek philosophers, Stoic philosophers would preach a lot. You would age. You only have one life to live. Life is not permanent.
mhm,
So the topic of death comes in.
mhm,
Well, it could be a bit depressing or it could be a bit heavy for the audiences. But what I think is if you choose to see death in a way that is good for the nature of the world. Eventually, if you think a bit more further, what if you really had an immortal life? If you couldn't die, then could have been very prolonged and stressful in a way.
mm,
So I think this is one thing that I would have to learn in the future
yeah,
because the reason why I said this is because I've seen many of my relatives are also my older generation starting to grow old and they succumb to diseases, then they pass away. And also same for pets, they could
yeah.
pass anytime, so when they're old. So this is a thing that I would need to focus on in the future.
Okay. No, thank you for sharing that with us, Placidia. Um, I guess just touching back on conversation we've had off the recording
Yeah.
and goes into the next question is the stigmatization within your culture, and has it changed? And if so, in what ways? And this you can go as far as you want to go with this question.
All right. I think for me, I am raised in an Asian culture. I grew
Yeah,
up there. So the majority of the people, the older generations,
yeah,
would think that having depression or anxiety is we are either too lazy or we are overthinking too much about it.
mm,
And especially with depression, because anxiety is not often talked about,
yeah,
but depression, it's quite a huge talk, I think, years ago, because lots of people uh, in my in my area, they have committed suicide. And
mm,
the youngest age for a person to commit suicide out of academic stress or relationships or anything,
yeah,
8 years old. It was shocking. And it's not only one student, but it was, I think, a period of time. So within 4 or 5 months,
yeah,
there are constantly like two or three 9 to 18-year-old teenagers jumping off the building, committing suicide in the end. So it is not really talked about until this happened.
yeah,
And afterwards, um, I think parents and also teachers in education field are deeply affected by these cases, these consecutive cases of suicidal students.
hmm,
So they started paying more attention
yeah,
about it. And the government themselves announced that we should add classes about life and positive educations
of course, yeah,
to make the students less stressed about that.
hmm,
And parents are also starting to talk to their children more since the case. So it's getting better and it's getting less stigmatized in
yeah,
the end. Yeah, so that's for depression. And for now, we're going to move on to intellectual disorders.
mm,
And they have been there for the stigmatization was there since I was still a child, I think. I was 12
yeah,
and it was really strong that time.
hmm,
Yeah, so what happens is there are some people who have ASD or
mm,
ADHD. So yeah, autism or being uh, having ADHD.
yeah,
They they have a pattern of behaviors that are considered uh, not fitting compared to the classroom. So they're seen as destructive. They could be seen by teachers that time as a very under regulated student. They don't know anything. They are very impulsive. They don't know their classmates. They're ruining the class. They're always disrupting the teaching curriculum. They're not doing anything but cause chaos every single day. That's
Yeah.
what their impression on these intellectually disabled students are.
Yeah.
And uh, I think for me that time, it was a pretty personal case, if you don't mind me sharing.
No, please, if you feel
Oh,
comfortable,
okay.
if you feel
Okay.
comfortable enough, please do
Oh, no,
share.
no, no. It's fine. It's fine. So during that time, I think I was more of the outgoing and more expressive students within my class.
Hmm.
And so the teachers started to think, okay, I wasn't disrupting the classroom or anything, but the teachers thought I was really hyperactive that time.
Mm.
So they made my parents to go check my out of nowhere, instead of asking them to check my whether if I'm intellectually disordered or
Mm.
anything. They told my parents to get my IQ checked just
Mm.
in case I'm fine. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like an insult to my family, because my family is like, my daughter's completely fine. What is going on? She's being expressive, and you are not letting her do anything. So, yeah, at the end, nothing happened. I was perfectly fine, perfectly normal, luckily.
Mm.
But I cannot imagine how hard it is for other people who actually are suffering from this kind of disorders.
Yeah.
So imagine just getting labeled like this, labeled as the outcast of the classroom, the destructive chaos bringer within the classroom. It's really bad for their mental health in a way.
Yeah.
Also, the peers wouldn't like to hang out with them.
Mm.
That's the way. That's the thing that happened a lot, because they cannot control themselves. The people with the intellectual disorders like ADHD and ASD.
Mm.
So they don't have much friends. The teachers don't like them. They think they're disruptive. So yeah, the label is there. But I think as it grew decades later, if you
Yeah.
look until now, so fast forward until now, the education field has started to recognize the importance of understanding how these people were. So these
Mm.
people, students with disorders are, and they would ensure teachers. It is true in my university in Hong Kong, every student who is pursuing a pedagogy, so a teaching degree,
Yes.
have to take at least one or two psychological classes about
Mm.
classroom management or about intellectual disorders or behavioral disorders.
Yeah.
Yeah, to ensure that they know the students are actually mentally suffering rather
Mm.
than being disruptive in class. So
Mm.
this is how far it has evolved. And of course, now more people have been talking about it. Even my professors would tell us this within lectures. And I remember I was taking a psychopathology class
Yeah.
in my first year, and the teacher was telling us that there are many cases like this happened when the teacher isn't uh, aware of what the student is actually suffering from,
Mm.
rather than being impulsive or disruptive in class. Yeah, it caused a lot of noises within that case. But
Yeah.
so that's why she wanted us to know and to identify. And she taught us to never react negatively towards that. And she
Mm.
taught us ways to deal with it, even though I'm not within the teaching part, but
Yeah.
it has been insightful for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Placidia, thank you so much for giving us information about that and sharing your own experience and opening up the door to people who may be listening who are going through the very thing you
Yeah.
mentioned. Is
Yeah.
there, before I go into the last question, is there anything you would advise or suggest to people who have been labeled this way and are having a rough time or haven't even had a rough time or they're in the midst of it and they don't know how to navigate life at the moment? What would you say to them?
Um, because I haven't been in their scenario, I never had any disorders in my life.
Yeah.
So some might not apply, but I could only say what I think is best.
Hmm.
So just a disclaimer,
Yes.
I think it is most important to have someone to talk to,
Mm.
find a support network.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be your family, it could be your friends, it could be a therapist if you have the ability to find a therapist. I have friends around me who suffered from ADHD a lot. And also, I have had people who went from a very extreme autism within the spectrum
Mm.
to perfectly functional because of having family supporting, having courses that teaches you how to get social cues, talking to a therapist, taking medications.
Mm.
Yeah, these kind of things would help. But I think for audiences, since it's quite diverse,
Yeah.
I think it do what's best for you.
Mm.
Do what works for you. I couldn't tell you what to exactly do, but they can think of it, what makes them feel better
Hmm.
and what helps them feel nicer after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even just to add on to that, whatever it is that you do choose, make sure that it's something that is
Yeah.
positive and something that is beneficial and
Yeah.
something that will help you.
Yeah.
Like Placidia
Yeah.
said, everyone's different.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess this leads into the next question, Placidia, is there any coping mechanisms you've learned that you can share with us? And how would a person be able to overcome adversity?
For me, the first thing I would say and ask myself whenever a situation happens, anything that happens, basically, I need to know what is within is that thing within my responsibility to handle,
Mm.
because I tend to be the person who does everything for everyone,
Yeah.
because I thought like, oh, if you're not doing this, I can help you. I can help you to do this. Oh, if you're mentally sad, okay, it's fine. I can be there for you and everything. But sometimes the first thing you need to ask yourself under these situations is this within your responsibility? Even
Mm.
though that person could be your family, that person could be your friend,
Yeah.
it is best to put yourself first sometimes for your inner self, for your inner goodness. Because if you're not feeling well, if you're drained by helping so much,
Mm.
then you wouldn't be able to function properly afterwards. So it's better to take care of yourself first,
Yeah.
heal first, calm yourself down first, and then go help people when you can. So
Mm.
the responsibility is very important to ask. And I think the second thing that helps with the work life
Yeah.
for me, in school, internships, and work, I think I would like to set a priority list.
Okay.
So that list would conclude the nearest date. That was my deadline.
Mm.
So what comes first? And then I would start ranking them based on the due dates and deadlines, how close they are to me right now.
Yeah.
And also work on things earlier, start a project earlier, finish a project earlier before the deadline. It would
Mm.
reduce so much stress in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, I think this part is not been discussed a lot,
Mm.
especially among college students.
Yeah.
Because what I've heard is, oh, it's fine. I can just do it 2 days before the essay is
Mm.
due. And then they get very stressed. So yeah, I think they are not aware of how good you would feel and how calm you would feel
Yeah.
after finishing things maybe like 3 to 5 days ahead of the deadline, because
Mm.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I like to read a lot.
Hmm.
And I couldn't read much because of my exams and everything. So, but normally I would read a lot of books. They could range from philosophy to psychology.
Hmm.
And currently, within these half a year or nearly a year, I've been spending my time within the Stoic books, so the Stoic philosophy books.
Yeah.
And my favorite book, and of which I would recommend it to everyone, is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. That is the best book ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And apart from that, I meditate and also I work out a lot.
Okay.
So it gets my energy moving. I feel better, relaxes my muscles, and breakthrough basically through workouts because I do weightlifting
Yeah.
and it really helped with my self-esteem. I was like, yes, I made it. I made it. Once I broke the record, I lifted something heavier. Yeah. That's the achievement for me. That's already enough. I'm proud of myself and that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
And for me, I draw sometimes.
Okay.
I don't draw often now, but I still sketch from time to time.
Yeah.
It has been my childhood hobby. So I really like drawing a lot. I think it calms me, it helps me to focus better in my daily life
Yeah.
generally. And also seeing the shades and coloring and hues, it really is satisfying, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So, yeah. And I think apart from that, I think I told you about shadow work earlier. I
Yes.
also do occasional shadow work, but not too frequent because I already went through that phase that where
Yeah.
I just keep asking myself questions. And now I'm just waiting for new experiences so I can ask myself more
Yeah.
shadow work questions. So it's all on going out now, stepping out of my comfort zone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
those are your coping mechanisms. You mentioned having a priority list. Tell us, why is it important to have a priority list, Placidia? Why is it good to have one in our lives?
yeah, so first thing is your time management. It
Hmm.
is very important for everyone if you want to generate a good piece of work without stressing. So if you have a priority list, you know what you should work on first.
Hmm.
So if you merge this setting the priority list
Yeah.
with knowing what you can control and what you cannot control,
Hmm.
in my scenario, I would say, okay, so let's say I have an exam due next week
Yeah.
and I have another project to work on that is due within at the beginning of December or like the mid-December.
Hmm.
I would say if I identified my priority, my first priority is my exam,
Yeah.
then I would be fully in control in what I can do
Hmm.
to my exam. So which is to study, write essays, generate a good product, etc.
Hmm.
Depending on what you have to do that time. And the rest, which is within your other projects in the future, they're none of your control now. So you don't have to worry about them first. This is
Hmm.
not your priority now. Priority is your exam. So you focus on your exam, get it done, and then you move on.
Hmm.
So it repeats. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. So, guys, you heard it. To have a priority list so you manage your time better. You can manage your
Yeah.
deadlines better. You can manage life better.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so, what does your priority list look like, and what will it look like for the listeners? And please, share with us on the podcast. Leave comments in the comment section as well. Placidia, I'm gonna run some fun questions with you now,
All
so
right.
the listeners can get to know you a bit better. But thank you
Okay.
so much for your insight and everything in today. We look forward to seeing a great future from you in the psychology field.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Um,
Kevin.
first one. If you could work remotely,
Hmm.
any location, where would it
Hmm.
be?
Remotely in a location.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific location, but I think it would be within Europe because I really like the work environment there. It's more flexible,
Yeah.
people are more open-minded, more agreeable. Anywhere would be fine as long as I could learn a thing or two from there.
Yeah.
I'm happy to work remotely anywhere.
Amazing. Amazing. Do you have a favorite quote?
Ah, yes. I would say obstacle is the way.
Obstacles are the way.
Mm.
Why that quote? Give us more insight into that. Why that quote?
Because life is about navigating obstacles and uncertainty,
Mm,
and there is no easy way out. For me, of course, you can choose the easy way. You can
yeah.
do things, live your life day by day without wanting to improve further. But for me, I want to see how far I can go.
Mm,
And without being restricted by anyone or anything. Because in reality, no one can restrict me but
Mm,
myself.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, and so I am my obstacle in a way. My worst nightmare is me. And
Mm,
if I overcame the obstacle, then it is the only way that could lead me to where I want to be in the future.
yeah.
Yeah, it's powerful, I think,
That's
for me.
very, that is very powerful.
Yeah,
Obstacles are the way.
yeah. I
And
live.
even, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I live by that. And also to know that you only live. You're not guaranteed to live every day.
Mm,
Never take things for granted in a way.
yeah.
Yeah, you never
That,
know. Be
that quote is
grateful
so.
for everything.
Be
Yeah.
grateful for everything. No, I agree with you on that. That's a
Yeah.
powerful quote. Obstacles are the way because I guess that speaks on, you know, whatever you do, whatever does come into your line of vision or into your lens or into your life, you
Hmm.
get to decide if it stays there or
Hmm.
if you're going to dismantle it or use it to further project
Yeah.
yourself into
Yeah.
your chosen future. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
that is powerful.
Yeah.
Because you said you sketch or you used to draw.
Hmm.
Do you have a favorite artist or a favorite piece of art that you like?
Uh, I like Milt Kobayashi, a
Okay.
Japanese oil painter.
Yeah.
He has a different way compared to the classical art movements. So not romanticism. He doesn't paint towards impressionism or anything, but it's purely based on influenced by his own culture arts. So
Mm,
like the Japanese classical art, but
yeah.
he improvised it further with his own elements.
Yeah.
So the way he paints is eccentric for some people, but
Yeah.
for me, it is beautiful because
Mm,
he paints a lot of people and he captures the portrait with their eyes and
yeah.
also the hair. So the bold and contrast within the artwork. So it's really nice. Yeah.
You're gonna have to share that with me. I'd love to see his work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, do you have a favorite season, Placidia?
Favorite season. I like autumn because I was born in autumn.
Yeah.
I was born in October. So yay. The trees are turning yellow. It's really nice. The hues are really nice.
Yeah.
And it's also that time where it's not too hot or not too cold.
Yeah.
So it's comfortable, the perfect weather
Perfect weather.
to go on barbecues and everything. Go on a hike.
Go on a
Go.
hike.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. Last question, and I would like you to finish the sentence.
Mhm.
If it wasn't for psychology, I would.
I think I would be a sobbing mess. Let's be
Mm,
realistic. But because of psychology, because of everything that I've learned from it, I have grown and reflected to become a better person. It's
mm,
not easy. It was never easy, but here I am today. And I'm not, I wouldn't regret it because if you ask me if I could choose another path to go, if we could go back in time,
yeah.
would I still do the same thing, go through the same thing,
Yeah.
and go through the same pathway in psychology, I would say yes. Because without them, I wouldn't be me today.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
powerful. That's powerful. Placidia, thank you so much for gracing us today and blessing us with your presence and your insight and knowledge. And it's so interesting because you are a trainee still. So I'm really excited to see what happens when you transition to being a full-time psychologist and you're in your field and you have your
Yeah.
company and you're operating at the highest level. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very excited for your future.
Yeah.
How can people find or follow your journey? What would be the best way to reach out to you if someone's saying, do you know what, I wanna go down this path of psychology and I want
Hmm.
to do what Placidity is doing right now. How can they
Hmm.
find you?
In terms of contact, you mean?
Yeah,
Or
if you like to contact or such
my
see
LinkedIn profile?
LinkedIn.
Feel free
Okay.
to connect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Placidia, again, thank you so much.
Thank you for
Um,
having me, Calvin. Thank you.
no, it's been my pleasure. And again, great future ahead of you. I've been Calvin Anderson, your host for the Checking With podcast. We've had Placidia today. Take care. Have a good night. God bless.